Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you are watching from. I hope you're all well, and I hope you've had opportunity to enjoy the sunshine for those of us who are in England. Okay, right. Some of you would have seen the news for today's videos, basically about the current news about teachers in the UK. So a lot of us would have seen the news, or you might not. If you haven't, yay, I'm here to give you the update. So you might have seen the news that teacher pay is increasing to 5.5% increase rate in the UK. So which is good news. It is good news, okay? And I think the current Labour government, which we just got voted recently, have come up with that news about 2 days ago to say that teacher pay is increasing, and they're looking at some other aspects of teacher work life to try and see how they can make it easier to retain people. Now, as we know, there's been a huge issue with teacher retainment in the UK for quite a while, and it's understandable because the job is very stressful. There's a whole lot of paperwork involved. You don't get paid according to the hours that you work, because a lot of us work outside of the usual hours. We come back home and you're working straight into the night and you don't get paid for those hours, okay? So it's not a job that you can go and claim over time. You can't. So I know that there's been issues around teachers' pay and all of that, and the current Labour government have now decided to increase pay. Now I think this will come into effect, I think October. So this new pay increase will come in effect in October, and it will be backdated to September. So that is good. I mean, 5.5. It's all right. It's good. It's a good starting place for teachers. So I think for teachers who work inside and outside of London, of course, we know there are different pay scales. So you have London pay, outer London, and then you have outside other places, and each of these places have different pay scales. For primary, I'm talking about primary. I'm talking about secondary. So the good thing is it's sort of there's an increase in pay for teachers, but the sad news is that this pay does not also get into the support assistants. So if you're a TA, a teaching assistant, in support roles in school, sadly this pay does not cut across to you. So it's mainly for qualified teachers who will be getting this pay in increase. And not only that, they've also said that your PPA time, which we usually hold in school, so each teacher has a PPA time maybe for 2 hours. So most times you do it in the afternoon. So straight after break, you go for your PPA. You don't go back to class. You go for your PPA, and then somebody else covers your class, or they do P or something. So this PPA is usually 2.5 hours or two and a quarter hours you have. So this is time you use to plan in school. But the now government has said we don't need to do that in school. So it's a bit flexible now. Excuse me. So you don't have to plan in school. You can go back home and do your PPA. So they're trying to bring some flexibility into the teaching qualification, which is also a good thing as well. So for those of us who have children or have childcare responsibilities, then you can go home and sort of pick your children from school, or do whatever you need to do at home. But obviously you still need to plan, okay? So don't see it as free time. It's time that you still need to do your planning to avoid you having to work long hours on the days that you are working. Avoid you working long hours at work and at school, so you can use the time to mark, to do anything you need to do. So, but just don't look at it as free time to do what I want to do. No, look at it as time allocated for you to work in a conducive environment rather than being in school. Because sometimes you're in school, you don't get that full time, because they'll say, oh, this child needs this child needs that, or go speak to the teacher is in the staff room. So you find that a lot of that time goes for you sorting out things in the classroom, or answering questions, or being pulled here, being pulled there, just because you're in the school environment. But if you're at home, then it means that you might get that that full 2.5 hours to do your work and You don't have any interruptions as well. And I think the Labour government, they're looking at ways to make the teaching qualification flexible for teachers. Now I don't know how flexible this is going to be, but I think this is a good start. Good start to their leadership. Just coming to power, and then there's a pay increase, and then there's the PPA time you don't have to do in school, and then they're also thinking of how they can make the teaching profession flexible. So I think this is good for anyone who is looking to come into the profession. Okay, it's a good thing. It's a good starting place, and it's just again to put the word out there for those who are overseas, who are still trying to come to teach in the UK. All hope is not lost. In fact, things are getting better in a sense. And I think the Labour government also said they're going to look at ways to see how they can reduce the workload, the workforce load for teachers, okay, so that they can retain more teachers. Because I think that's the problem. The workload is too much. We don't get paid as much, and it's just a combination of stuff. And I think that's why you have lots of NQTs. I still call them NQTs. I know they're called ECTs now. I call them NQTs because that's what I'm used to. So you have lots of NQTs who don't stay anymore. They just do their NQTA and they go off, do something else. A lot of them become teaching assistants, and they just, because to them it's too much. Okay, the workload is too much. So now the Labour government is trying to think of flexible ways and creative ways to help retain teachers. Now, again, in another news, I think about a week or two or so, they did talk about increasing more, creating more spaces, about 6,500 spaces for teachers. Now, the government did not specifically say that this role will be filled for overseas people or things like that. No. Okay, so this is just a blank slate. So it could mean that they might decide to look into the teacher training recruitment and all of that. Again, it still gives hope that wherever you are, so you can still keep searching for your a job to come into the UK to teach, because again, the government knows that this is an area that has a massive shortfall and a problem of retention. So you still stand a very good chance to get a job in the UK as a teacher. So that's the update I wanted to bring to you all. I hope that's been useful. If you've got any comments, leave them in the comment section below and I will answer. For those of you saying you want to get in touch, my email is usually in the description box. So if you look in the description box, you'll see my email, and you can catch up if you need to. Okay, have a fantastic afternoon. Enjoy the sun and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.